Hey you guys, it's your girl Sophia here. Thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about bullying and anti-bullying, of course. I went to school in Bayonne, New Jersey. I went to grammar school over there. My dad put me and my sister in private school all of our lives so that we can get a better education. My experience over there, well, let's just say I was the only brown girl in my class. And actually, I think in this particular school, I was the only brown girl in the whole entire school besides my sister. So that being said, you guys kind of get the gist of how it was. I just remember the other kids never playing with me and always like being in a huddle and whispering about me, I would think. There were these set of twins who I thought were really nice. One of them would always talk to me. She would be my friend, until I realized there were certain things she wouldn't do with me. Like, she would talk to me and things like that, but it wasn't all the time. Like, she would look really embarrassed at sometimes and like scurry off and like try to avoid me at all costs at certain times. So I kind of was like, hey, what's going on? Like, I thought you were my friend. And she was like, I'm just your friend just to be nice to you. I feel bad for you, but my parents don't want me talking to you. So come to find out, none of the parents wanted the other kids talking to me because of the color of my skin. It was so bad, you guys. It was really sad. I didn't understand what was going on. When I would tell my mom, she had to unfortunately explain to me what the word prejudice means and what racism means. And this was in the 4th grade, you guys. I had to learn about that in the 4th grade. So I remember this one time, which I wish I could go back and stand up for myself. This one time there was cheerleading tryouts in this particular grammar school. All the kids saw me walk in. They were like, please don't join. Our parents gonna make us not join the cheerleading squad. Please just go, like, please. And I was just like looking, and I just wanted friends, you guys. I just wanted them to be nice to me. So I was like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna do this to them, because literally all of the girls would have had to not join the cheerleading squad, because a prior example of what had happened when I joined a school play, all the girls got together and said, okay, we're not doing this because of our parents. So they literally canceled the school play for this class because I got picked to play the part of the queen. So when they told me not to join the cheerleading squad, I was just like, okay. So I left and I went outside to recess, and I was by myself. Literally all the girls in my class were inside the cheerleading tryouts, and I was outside. Now, mind you guys, this is 4th grade. Now, you do know that there are 7th and 8th graders also who go to the school. So I don't know if they were 8th graders. I don't know if they were 7th graders. All I know is during this particular recess, the biggest kids in the schoolyard, they came up to me and was like, hey, you want to play a game? And I was like, yeah, sure. So next thing you know, they all surrounded me in a circle, and they started pushing and shoving me all around. Like, the girls, you could tell they were afraid. They were like scared to really push me, but the boys, they were intentional with their pushes. They were pushing hard and like shoving me until one of them shoved me to the ground. They got scared and they just stopped. That was an extremely scary experience. Let's just say my parents took me out of that school. They moved me to a different elementary school. And from there, they were just like, you know what? When it's time for her to go to high school, she's going to high school in Jersey City, New Jersey. So you guys would think, okay, Jersey, New Jersey, I'm going to be around my own people. Things could potentially get better. Let's talk about that. So now we're in the 7th and the 8th grade. My parents moved me over to Sacred Heart right there in MLK Drive. My experience there was it was just like I was invisible, you guys. I was totally invisible in this particular grammar school. My dad would drop me and my sister off every single day, and the kids did not like that. They were like, why does your dad drop you off every day? Like, my dad was very overprotective. He dropped us off every day. He made sure that we were okay. And I didn't see any other parents dropping their kids off, so I was bullied because of that. None of the kids talked to me at recess in Sacred Heart either. So that was like, whoa, like I was just like, what's going on? Around those times in 7th and 8th grade, they were talking about parties, they were talking about weed. And I remember this one time, this girl, Raven, she was really popular. She was having a Halloween party. And I was just like, Raven, like, why didn't you invite me? And she's like, girl, you know your parents not gonna let you come. And I was just so mad, you guys. I was so upset. But I was like, you know what? Obviously, I don't have anything in common with these girls. Literally, when we would have breaks inside this grammar school, I was still reading books about unicorns, you guys. This is 7th and 8th grade. Like, I love to read. I love fictional books and, you know, things that just opened up my imagination. I loved history. I loved English. Math was my weakest subject. But yeah, so that was my experience in grammar school. So now high school comes. My dad's like, okay, I'm gonna put you in a private high school. Mind you guys, I was a very thoughtful child. So if I saw certain things, I was gonna speak up about it, and I was gonna be really selfless, because that's how I was. I was just like, I was aware of how expensive private school was in grammar school, and I was just not about to allow my parents to struggle to put me in a private high school. I wasn't about that. I also did not want to go to a private high school, because I thought the reason why I hadn't had any friends all these years in the past in Bayonne and Jersey City in these private schools was because I was in private school. So I said, you know what? No, I want to go to public school. My dad fought me on it. Like, he argued, like, he would tell my mom, no, she's going to private school. My mom was like, no, let her go where she wants to go. So now that brings us to high school, you guys. Okay. I went to 3 different high schools. Yes, 3. The first high school I went to was Lincoln High School. And the reason why I went there is because it was in our district. I went to Lincoln High School. The way I can explain Lincoln High School was it was really big and it was really wild. It seemed very unsupervised, but in the same breath, this is during the time of extracurricular activities. They had a lot of amazing things at Lincoln. I can honestly say that. The teachers didn't necessarily care about bullying. They didn't care if you were being attacked, but they had amazing extracurricular activities. I'm talking about during gym class, we were working out like we were in Pilates and yoga. During, what was that? We also had fashion shows, you guys. We had like a fashion coach right within Lincoln High School. She directed all of the fashion shows, and she was just a lovely and amazing lady. I love her. She was a great mentor. We also had swimming. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I necessarily enjoyed swimming. I think I was more or less aware and alert about the hygiene of the pool, and I was just like, I didn't really enjoy swimming, you guys. But we had a lot of great things in Lincoln High School. So I do remember in Lincoln, first of all, you guys, I first picked up a love for modeling when I was 12 years old. So when I was 14, I was going to Lincoln. I was just like, I still love modeling. I want to be a model. That's my passion, like, hands down. So I told my mom, and then I told her that they also had fashion shows within my school. So she went with me. We signed up. I was getting ready for the annual big fashion show. I remember nobody really talking to me during the fashion show, but this one guy, his name was Chance. He was really popular within the whole entire school, and you would think that he would be like one of those snobby, mean kids. He was always nice to me, so I really give him a lot of respect for that, because he never treated me mean, and he always went out his way to at least acknowledge me. The rest of the people, it was more or less like cliques. Like, you either were down with everything that was going on or you weren't. And I was pretty much down to study. Like, I loved to read. I was there for school. I literally, I tried to be nice to everyone because I was a really thoughtful kid. I would smile at everyone. I would give everyone Valentine's Day cards. I would give everyone Christmas cards. Let me tell you, my grandmother would take me to the Hallmark store, and she would pick out huge packs of Christmas cards and holiday cards for all of my classmates. And this was at 14. So I don't know if you would say I was a nerd. I think I was a nerd, but I was just being really thoughtful and nice because I thought that's what you do. Obviously I understood that these kids had a lot going on at home. As teenagers, they had a lot of responsibility. Mind you, this is an urban area. There was a lot on their plate, but I also had a lot going on. And little did they know, nobody ever asked me hey, Sophia, how's your day? It was more or less she looks stupid. Why she look so stupid? Why she smiling for? Look at her feet. Mind you guys, I'm tall, so I did have big feet. Yes, I did have, let me think. In high school, either my feet was a size 9 or it was a 10. But mind you guys, I'm almost 6 feet. I think that I was always almost 6 feet, even in high school. So they would be look at the shoes she got on. Mind you, my shoes was always fresh. All these sneakers that's coming out now that they're bringing back from back then, my dad made sure that my feet was fresh. So all of those Jordans, the Adidas, those Nikes, I had all the way back then. But they didn't know nothing about that though. So they were like, look at her feet, she looks stupid, those things look big as on her, look at her feet, blah, blah, look at all those colors that she got on. Because you know, I love my colors, girls. My favorite color is pink. I love orange. I love lime green. I love my colors. I'm Caribbean. So I absolutely love colors. They would just make fun of everything, but they would really rag me. I would ignore them. Like, okay, like I would ignore them. Like I was happy. At the end of the day, I was at school to study and make friends. Like, not necessarily make friends, but I was just thoughtful and nice to people. Like I was always nice to people because I knew the way that I wanted to be treated. So long story short, I remember there was a certain part where I wanted to bond with my dad and I wanted us to have like a stronger bond. So I was like, what can I do? Like, we don't have anything in common. What can I do? So I was like, basketball. My dad loves basketball. We would literally watch wrestling and the basketball game together every time it came on, and we really enjoyed it. So I was like, let me just join the basketball team for him. So I joined the basketball team, and y'all, I was not good. I wasn't good. I didn't know what I was doing. They would like be writing plays on that big whiteboard, and I'd be looking at that whiteboard like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Play what? Play 42? I don't even know play 41. But anyway, y'all, so my dad was my coach. He trained me. Of course we had a school coach, but he literally trained me in basketball. We would literally train like we're going to a professional, like I was going off to college and getting signed. That's how we would train, you guys. It was hard work, but it was worth the bonding experience. So I just remember joining the basketball team at Lincoln High School and not knowing I didn't know what was going on, y'all. They were like, play number 3. The whole entire team would run that way. I would run that way. It was bad, you guys. It was bad. Okay, so not only was I a nerd, I didn't have many friends. I was always walking around smiling because I was always happy. Like, I'm in high school, I'm young, of course, I'm gonna be happy. All right. I'm gonna give these girls a benefit of the doubt. Maybe a little part of them disliking me was the fact that I would make them lose every single basketball game. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, it wasn't my fault. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna admit it. I did not know what I was doing. I think we did lose about 4 games because of me. But in the same breath, you mean to tell me it wasn't no star players on that team that could have saved us from that little downfall? But anyway, y'all, so yeah, I wasn't good at basketball. We would literally lose every basketball game when I was a part of the team. Sorry about that, girls. But you know what? When I really think about it, my experience at Lincoln High School was terrible. And not only the whole basketball team incident, it was the fact that in class, I would literally have bullies that would walk up to me and get in my face and be like, you look stupid. You look stupid today. Girl, I'm serious. They would be like, you look stupid. You look stupid today. Look at you. Look at you sitting here quiet. Look at you sitting there with your backpack on. Look at your jacket. You look stupid. Every day, it was this particular girl that would come inside my music class, get in my face, knock my books on the floor, be like, you look stupid. Do something. You ain't gonna do nothing. Do something. Mind you guys, I already knew I knew how to fight. Like, inside my heart, I knew how to fight. Of course, my parents always taught me how to defend myself. So that was like, never a worry, never an issue. But I'm just like, I'm gonna give her 3 strikes because it's never my first instinct to just jump on someone. I'm gonna give her 3 strikes and she out. Every day this girl would come in my face every single day. But it got to that point where I took a stand and I said, I'm gonna give her 3 strikes, you guys. So that last time she came in my face, she knocked my books down. I was like, you look stupid. You ain't gonna do nothing. I was like, oh, really? She like, yeah, you ain't gonna do something. I got up, I slipped my backpack off, I took my jacket off, threw it on the floor, boop, 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 boom, knocked her to the ground. Mind you, this is a chubby girl. She chubby. And she not that short. She was like 5'7". Boop, 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 knocked her to the ground. Next thing you know, I took that music desk, that like the music chair desk where the desk and the chair was attached together. Boom, I threw that desktop up, boom. My music teacher gonna take me and like pin me to the chalkboard and holding me there. I'm like, if you don't get off of me. Anyway, y'all. Now all of a sudden, he want to get involved. You mean to tell me he didn't see when this girl was getting in my face, bothering me every single day? No. You guys, let me just point something out. I'm convinced that the no tolerance for bullying rule, I'm convinced that is only for when the kid that's being bullied actually defends themselves. That's when they want to be serious about the no bullying rule. Because every single time my mom would come up to the school, it was always, oh, but your daughter, basically in all words, but your daughter defended herself. It was never, oh yeah, we remember when your daughter came to our like office like 20 times and told us that people were putting their hands on her, touching her hair, talking about her hair, trying to trip her, laughing at her, getting in her face, knocking her books down. Never, 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 never. They never admitted it. It was like, that's not important. That's not a priority. We're just concerned about when she retaliates. So, you guys, my parents were picking me up from school every single day. The last straw of me going to that school is when it was a shootout and the bullet literally missed me and hit my dad's car. Like, as soon as I got into my dad's truck, the bullet hit the car door. And one student got shot in the butt and the other student, I think, got shot in the arm. My parents was like, nah. So then they transferred me to Create. Now, by me saying Create, y'all know that this was a while ago, guys. Create Charter High School was insane. I lived 2 blocks away from Create Charter High School. All the kids from Curry Woods went to that high school. That being said, you already know it was off the meat rack. Let me tell y'all, so my experience in Create Charter High School was like a whole lifetime movie, you guys. When I tell you that my mom was writing to the newspaper, the Daily News, the actual news stations every single day seeking help because the principal would not do anything, she was reaching out every day. And not one response, you guys. We didn't get not one response. So at Create Charter High, I remember the boys being really disrespectful, like, now we're 15, so everybody's sexually active. Like, there would be boys that would come up to me and be like, say crazy stuff. And of course, I would defend myself. I'd be like, if you don't get on my face, they would get mad. They would tell their girlfriends, and their girlfriends would come to me and want to fight. Yes, I literally want to fight in high school because their boyfriend told them, oh, she started with me. And it was all because they wanted to get with me. And I said, no, like, what is going on? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. Charter High School was just bananas. Girls would just be like, I don't like her. And I'd be like, why? Her friend would be like, why? I just don't like her. So every day they would start with me. Oh, I don't like her. Look at what she got on. Literally, you guys, my high school experience has caused me to have anxiety, even when it comes down to walking in front of huge crowds of people, due to the fact that every time I would enter that lunchroom and cafeteria, I was the main target. For some reason, I was the target. I would have to stand online and pretend like I didn't hear them, like I didn't see them. One time, you guys, they actually, like, I was holding on to my jacket and I was waiting for my lunch. They literally took my jacket like out of my arms and threw it behind the refrigerator inside high school. And I had to act like I didn't see them. Like, I just wanted to pretend like they didn't exist, because if I gave any type of reaction, there would be an issue. Because with Create, not only the girls would fight you, the guys, that's what was known. The boys would literally put their hands on females back then in high school. And like I said, I was a very thoughtful individual. I was very aware of everything that was going on. When I was going to Create, I saw a previous example of a girl that was being bullied, and her mom came up to the school and they literally beat the girl and her mom up. So that was just a horrible situation in itself, and nothing was ever done about it. So I was not really trying to like go all out at Create, because I just did not want, I didn't want that, you guys. Like, I'm just like, dang, like, it was bad. It got to the point where I didn't want to get out of the bed in the morning time. Like, I would literally never want to go to school. Like, I would come home and I would just cry. Like, I would just cry, you guys. I would cry. And my mom, she would be so upset. She really tried. She had a whole meeting with the principal and the vice principal, and they were just like, well, it's no child left behind. We're not about to expel all of these boys that's a part of the sophomore class because they come from bad households, they have bad situations, and we're not leaving them behind because of your daughter. And my mom was like, what? The no child left behind rule means that you're gonna go out your way to make sure these individuals from bad households succeed in regards to grades, and even going out your way to make sure they have the nutrition, the proper nutrition that they need, that they're potentially not getting from home. That has nothing to do with the fact that they are troublemakers and bullies and that they will put their hands on girls and young adults. That's something completely different. So there was no help. There was no rules create charter high school was off the meat, right, you guys? So it was so bad there, you guys, that it got to the point where I transferred out at the middle of my junior year, and I went to Snyder High School. So now I'm at Snyder. I can honestly say, you guys, out of Lincoln and out of Create, Snyder was the most chill school. Of course, there were other high schools that were great. There was McNair. There was like lots of other like amazing high schools that I would have loved to go to. Even Ferris would have been okay, but it wasn't in our district. Like, we literally would try each year, and they were like, "Oh, it's not in your district. It's not in your district." So I had no choice but to go to these schools that were in my area. So I went to Snyder High School, and my experience there was great, mostly because of the food truck that was parked on Kennedy Boulevard. You guys, my love for food is crazy. I absolutely love food. So at lunchtime, that was my best part of the day. Like, I literally love food, you guys. And that food truck was always 100. So in regards to the bullying at Snyder High School, yes, there was bullying at Snyder High School, but all the popular kids knew me. Like, they knew me, and they would like acknowledge me. They would just be like, "Oh, hey Sophia, oh, you're pretty." Like, if they thought that I was pretty, they'd be, "Hey Sophia, she's really pretty, right? She's really quiet, she's nice." So it was nice to be acknowledged by the popular kids in Snyder High School. I also did the fashion show. I think I did the fashion show at Create and Snyder. So every high school that had a fashion show, I was doing it because I absolutely love to model. The bullying at Snyder High School was less than the other high schools, but it was still there. Like, I would walk past, the kids will always be like huddled up in the hallways in Snyder High School, and it will always be those girls, you guys. You know those girls, the really big ones with the muffin tops? It's like all the rolls right here and the weaves sitting on top of their head, and they'd be like, "Look at her," or they would do that laugh like, and I'll be looking like, what is so funny? Like that really loud laugh that just breaks your nerves, like, ah! I'm like, girl, y'all, to this day, when I walk past the crowd, I'll be listening to see if I hear that laugh. That laugh is like a nightmare. Like, what was so funny? And then, you guys, I forgot when this started. I think Snyder, or was it Lincoln? During that time, they started the knockout thing. So I kid you not, during like 2000, early 2000s, middle 2000s, they started that knockout thing. So not only was I afraid to walk past huge groups of like school kids because I was afraid that they was gonna like talk about my sneakers or my shoes or my outfit or how tall I was afraid to go get lunch at the local bodegas because they would literally be saying like, "Oh, should I knock her out? Should I knock her out? Should I knock him out?" And I was like, it was just wild, you guys. It was wild. It was really crazy. It was wild. So literally, that was my high school experience. That was my grammar school experience. I can honestly say the African American community has let me down because we're supposed to be in unity, you guys. What was that about? What was that about? I always tried to be understanding of their situations and what they possibly could be going through that made them want to come at me like that. But it was absolutely no reason. And let me tell you, I see some of y'all. I see some of y'all till this day. And let's just say being nice and having a good heart has paid off because look at me. And then I see y'all, the ones who were the troublemakers, the ones who always started with me. I see y'all and it shows. For the ones who are like totally caught in a delaria where they're like, "Oh my gosh, hi Sophia, how are you? Y'all was the same ones that bullied me my whole 4 years of high school. Hi, I don't want to communicate with you. I forgive you, but please don't act like you were my best friend because none of you were." None of you were. I did have a few good friends, some of my best friends that I had during my high school experience, and I appreciate them. But for those of you that literally started with the girl because you said my face looked stupid because I was always smiling, because I don't know, I had a big shoe size, because I was tall and I just looked stupid. What's the reason for that, you guys? The moral of this whole entire story is do not make fun of people because of the way they look, because they look too happy, because they're too tall, they're too skinny, their clothes are too bright, their feet is too big. Who cares about any of that? Because most of the people that was coming at me were big people. They were big. They were either big or they were either really skinny. And the things that made them popular were wrong. Like, you were popular because you liked weed. You were popular because you were all sexually active and you were all hooking up with each other. And for the guys, the boys' mothers, please raise your sons to be respectable young men. Because no way these young men should be going to high school disrespecting females and putting their hands on girls, on young women. Like, there's no way. But yeah, so that was my high school experience and that was my grammar school experience. Neither of them were pleasant at all. But as you can see, I still managed to keep my smile and nobody can take that away. And moral of the story is, don't bully. Just be yourself, and that's enough. So I hope that you enjoyed this YouTube video. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.